So Donald Trump is panicking on Canada.
What's going on today?
Well, Canada put out an ad using Ronald Reagan's voice, and Trump didn't like it.
So, they can do... Is that illegal to use his voice?
So here's the thing. The Ronald Reagan is called the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation came out and said, like, you used Reagan's voice that misrepresents. That's the phrase that they use, misrepresents.
Was it fake video or fake voice?
No, so it's not fake. And basically, it's Reagan didn't like the tariffs. That was the speech. The actual title of the speech is Radio Address to the Nation on Free and Fair Trade, Free Trade.
Yeah, so that's actually his speech and his voice, right?
Yeah. Because the way Trump says, he's like, this is the quote from Trump. The Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement which is fake. But it's
not fake.
No, it's not. So that's it. Yeah, and so then Trump then says, I'm canceling all meetings. He says, based on the egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated.
How can you deal with USA anymore?
I know.
It changes, it's up to Trump's mood.
Well, apparently, and we've already kind of known this. He just tweets out whatever, right?
We knew that, but it's ridiculous.
Well, this particular case is crazy ridiculous because, like, Ronald Reagan was essentially the superhero for the Republicans.
Yeah.
Every time they come out and give a speech, so like every time like a convention, everyone speaks, that they always like, oh, okay, we're the party of Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan, yay! They always say those. There's literally those two every time. And so it shows how, like, now Trump doesn't even want to hear Reagan's words.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Like, how do we, and this is kind of the stuff that Reagan said. I'll read it. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries. So basically trade war, okay? And triggering of fierce trade wars. That's his own words. Then the worst happens, which is basically what we're seeing, right? This is Reagan's words. Markets shrink and collapse. Businesses and industries shut down and millions of people lose their jobs.
Just like right now in USA.
Yeah, so I guess the only argument that the Reagan people can make is you didn't give us permission to use Reagan's voice. I guess that's an argument they could make.
But that time he's the president, right?
That's a good question. So this was a radio address to the nation of free and fair trade dated April 25th, 1987. So would he have been president back then? Let me actually check the Reagan president years. So I didn't check in my dates.
I'm not sure.
So he would have been president back then. That'd be correct.
Okay, so I'm not, the pro legal stuff. It's my opinion is, I think president's speech isn't kind of public. Right.
So you're just saying anyone can use it?
I think so. It's my opinion.
Right. We were just talking about just in terms of opinion, why can't you use a president's speech? So I think the argument that Canada would make is you're using it to promote Canada. but you're still making the case that it's the president's speech. And
plus, it's not really commercial.
What's not commercial?
I mean, that they're not selling stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're saying, buy Trump airplanes or Trump steaks or Trump product. Yeah. And well, basically it's just against Trump and the tariffs. That's essentially what it boils down to. I think the argument they could make is Reagan specifically talking about, say, the Great Depression and sort of the era back then. But it's not, what's that?
But money is still money.
Yep.
Tax is tax.
Yep.
Tariff is tariff.
Still tariff, yeah. I mean, it's just a poor argument, basically. Yeah. I mean, the best way, we're trying to just walk through, because you do want to take this consideration. But the end result, though, is that Trump is canceling the meetings with Canada. Yeah. And so, how do you do business with said person? And it's not even really meeting. His actual word is negotiation, because you could argue it just calls up his people and says, stop talking to the Canadians, I guess.
How could you work with Trump?
Yeah, so this comes at a time when Trump and I guess President Xi are going to meet actually here.
Here, or right there.
Like literally here. Yeah, it's like literally just right over there in here in Busan. I mean, do you think?
Who knows?
Yeah, it could change, right?
Yeah, anytime.
That was the first thing you said when I mentioned it. Like,
who knows?
And that's what I've been telling you guys. I'll say like the rumor on the street or at the moment.
Yeah.
Because how else can you talk about this stuff? And this also comes at a time when I was just looking at polling data. People basically really don't like tearing down the White House.
Yeah, kind of sad. It's part of historical building, right?
Right.
And building itself, your building itself is like how to say
What's that?
the same. Like the design, the building itself is why they build like that, but they tear down only one part and they build a new building. It's not.
Well, hey, okay. Be careful what you say, because if you're going to talk that way, Trump's gonna be like, hey, you're right. I'm just going to tear it all down and just build a new one. So, no, seriously, and then the argument he makes is, but
I think he's planning.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, because from Trump's point of view, it's just like, well, I mean, we wanted to put this new part in, but it doesn't really match the old part. So, I mean,
he already tear it down.
Yeah, so here's the problem with this stuff. Okay, so the argument they make is, there's been renovations in the past and there's been changes in the past, right?
But I think that's a kind of, when, first time they build it, there's no AC, but later that there's AC, so you gotta, renovate for the, those kind of new technology.
Right. Or as I mentioned, like if there's leaky pipes or any problems. Yeah. So if there's an actual problem with the building, I don't think anyone would have any problem of like, hey, the bathrooms don't work. You got to fix the bathroom. No one's going to complain about that. The other problem is normally when you do something like this, you would consult like all kinds of, historical agencies, make sure everyone is on board with this, take it to Congress, people like you would just not just do it by yourself and treat it like your home, which is what Trump, that's basically what it is. Trump is treated it like his home, So everything changes if you include all these people, but basically one day he wakes up and is like, hey, I'm getting a bunch of money. Let's do it.
And he's always bragging that not just his money, some rich guy wanted to help me, right?
Yeah, so the latest is really bizarre. They had like a press conference thing, right? And all these people sitting around the sort of the room. And he's like, yeah, so I had this rich friend who called me up and he's like, I'm just going to give you a bunch of money. And it was like, I don't know, 130 million or something. It's like a bunch of money, right? I don't remember the exact number. And they're saying like, yeah, and this person just want to, help pay for the military or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, so who is this rich person? Well, he didn't want me to tell you his name. And it's like, okay. And so there's actually two guesses who it could be. So the same day that he announces, like literally just says, hey, I got a bunch of money and blah, blah, blah. He gave out pardons. Well, actually, three people could be. He gave out pardons to two crypto people. Oh. So one of the crypto people was from Binance, it was like the Binance CEO. Yeah. There was SBF and CZ. They're like the two crypto guys. Oh. And basically they're both guilty of crypto's nonsense. And then essentially then the money comes in, Trump admits it. So it could theoretically be him. It could theoretically also be Elon, or it could be this other guy his name is Ross Ulbricht. He was in prison also. So, who knows?
Who knows?
I really don't know. But the whole thing is weird. Just imagine for any politician in any country that says, hey, we got a bunch of money from one of my friends, and I'm not going to tell you his name.
That itself is a really big scandal.
It should be.
Yeah, really big scandal.
I mean, it's hard to talk about stuff because it's like, how far down these, scandal path are we going to go? And it's really the problem with Trump's party, the Republicans, because I keep saying, I've been saying a lot lately that these people are going to have a stain, it's going to, dirty on their clothes, on their name for history, because if you get caught, it's basically, let's make most simplest terms. Let's say you worked with the mustache party back in Germany way back when. That's a shame now. What's that?
Yeah, but they're a White House together with everyone's dirty, but so they don't look like dirty. Because everyone's all same.
It's a really good point, right? It's like, oh well, everyone around me in that little room is all thinking that way.
Dirty, stinks. So I don't smell it.
The way that when we talk about this time in history, or say back in Germany, would be like, oh, I was just following orders. Someone just ordered me to do it.
I had to do it to leave.
Yeah, but this is such a bizarre time because literally we see that these people are liars in public on any number of things. And actually, do you know his very first lie as president?
Mm-mm.
It was like literally the first day. Like literally, they lied about how big their crowd size was.
I see.
And they were like, oh, we had the biggest crowd in history. And it was a weird thing to lie about because we had photos.
Yeah, and you don't really brag about how popular you are.
Oh, right. Yeah. So he was one of the, and I'd have to check all of American presidents, but to my knowledge, like he's the first president who like really cares about how popular he is. But I would say other presidents would talk about like polling.
They should care.
They'll talk about polling. They will mention that, but the popularity thing is a good one because like Trump talks about it in different kinds of ways. So, for example, this is a true story. He was complaining to Twitter about Obama. Do you remember this one? He was mad that Obama had more followers.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, well, something's wrong with the algorithm. How could Obama have more Twitter followers than me? And it's like, it's really weird, right? Really, really weird.
What kind of president care about your followers on Twitter?
Yeah, so that's where we're at. And then also, too, we have Kemp, the governor of Georgia, is here in Korea. What's basically going on with that? Just the basic gist.
Not just Kemp.
Oh, yeah, there's another dude.
The Lee from Tennessee.
Okay, there's another governor here.
So both are there here, and they're basically, I don't know. I like to say that they're begging Korea company to please come back.
No, they're begging. They're definitely begging.
Please don't, stop invest us.
Right.
And they're kind of lying that, we didn't know that, the people are arrested. So you're working on with Trump. I don't believe that's so too.
It's a problem with the whole Republican Party at the moment. These people are liars, and what's sad, and you never know for sure. Like when I read comments of the Republican people, you never know, is that like a real person or is that a robot? Because anyone who goes along with this Trump stuff, you're just like, are you people like purposely stupid, or I don't know. I mean, how do we treat this kind of stuff? So for just simple example, Trump tears down the White House, like. And just imagine any country you start tearing down like the main Capitol building. I'm pretty sure most regular people aren't going to like it. I mean, wouldn't it be weird? So like when you see people cheering that on, I don't know.
No. They're just cold. Just no other way to explain. Just cold. I just love you. Whatever you say, I love whatever you do. I just follow whatever you.
You actually explain well. It's like, yes, whatever he does, they just like, oh, he kissed the ground that he walks on. So it becomes really problematic when it's like just so obviously in your face evil but kind of stuff. And I just give an example, like today he's just like, we can just kill whoever we want, dead, kill. And it was like, wait, what? And because the question was kind of a simple one. It was if you believe that Congress will follow you and say we can declare war, then why don't you go to Congress? Well, I don't need to do that. I could just kill anyone I want. Like that kind of stuff. And it's obviously a lie, right?
Yeah, and people say, oh yeah, he's very strong, powerful guy.
Yeah, but then when you actually see him speak, and that's why sometimes it's always a tricky thing because like sometimes people complain of like, oh, why do you show Trump speak? Right, but when you read it, he sounds crazy. But then when you see it, sometimes he's like really low energy, and so he's just like reading something. It's a different feeling. So sometimes you just have to see it for yourself. Today, well, it's like every day. I'll just say this: he gets mad at reporters a lot, and I think what it is he's not used to anyone asking him like a question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just order. Not the answer.
See, I'm not even sure if it's order because what it feels like today was an interesting one. So he was talking about the Binance guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, a lot of people tell me that he was innocent or he didn't do anything wrong. A lot of people tell me and blah blah blah. Like it was very interesting his language. If you actually just listen to him.
Yeah, there is a like devil's whisper all the time.
Yeah, because he uses that kind of language. A lot of people tell me, or I've been hearing a lot. So he will actually say that. And someone had an interesting comment today are his aides showing him a bunch of like AI videos and fake stuff? Because think about how that would change how you see the world. I don't know. I mean, in this day and age, it's certainly a possibility, right? Because he said before, he's like, this is talking about my town, Portland. He's like, I keep seeing Portland burning. It's just all burning down. We got to send the military. It's all burning. And it was like what? What are you talking about? it's kind of weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
And because like, let's just say if that were true, it's with any of this stuff that someone said were true, then we would all know about it. So it's hard to have these conversations because in the past, like let's say if I disagreed with someone, a party, like here's a simple example. Let's say we're having a conversation, you know, should we end the war in Iraq, right? Mm-hmm. So then what if we change the conversation to the Trump way? There's no war in Iraq. There's no war. And then suddenly you're just like, I don't even know what we're talking about right now. Like
you can't have a conversation.
Yeah. You know, it would be and it's kind of the similar sort of situation to where like, you know, today he just decides to cancel meetings with Canada because they're playing literally the superhero's voice. And then I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. So it shows you like how, and it really is a cult. It shows you how far culty that things have gotten, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem. And I've talked to people in the community, like you can see in comments, and they say the same thing to where like they've had to end relationships and friendships and can't talk to family members, and it's a real sickness right now in USA. And I don't know what portion exactly of the population. Well, I'll say around 20%, but it's hard to, no one knows for sure. Just you look at polling data and it's probably like that. It's pretty bad, 20%. So, but that's not everybody. And I'm hoping that people wake up from this dream or nightmare, if we want to call it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this, or our thoughts, I should say. I'd like to hear yours, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. So bye.